A terrific environment, the Gallowgate end, full of black and white, as Newcastle and Arsenal prepare to do battle in the second leg. What a scene that is. The Arsenal fans, by the way, will be tucked high in the upper tier of that stand behind the goal, a long, long way up. But a lot of them have made what is a long, long journey up country to Tyneside. And the players will just be feeling a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous at this stage. Adrian gives a little bit of insight into what that is like in a semi-final. When you're in the tunnel, you can hear all this coming down, milking down the tunnel, and you know that you're about to do a really serious job of work.
Yeah, it's always a fine line. You want to soak up the occasion, soak up the atmosphere, but you know you've got a job to do. You know that place in the final, that's where you want to be. You want to have a chance of lifting silverware and getting to the real big occasion. But like you just mentioned there, walking out, seeing the crowd, feeling that energy, you know, whether you're the home side, the away side, you know, you really want to tap into that and just try and bring your best on the day.
Well, I guess this atmosphere, this stadium can either inspire or terrify. It'll certainly inspire the home fans. And the protagonists meet with black and white everywhere you look. The colours of Newcastle United, who were absolutely brilliant at the Emirates in the first leg a month ago. They were good value for that 2-0 lead. Alexander Isak in particular, there he is, was very, very hot that night, and Arsenal found him hard to deal with. Well, the referee is Simon Hooper. He's assisted by Adrian Holmes and Simon Long. Thomas Bramall is the fourth official, and we do have VAR at this stage of the tournament. So let's have a look at the starting lineup, shall we? Then starting with Newcastle, Eddie Howe making a couple of changes to the side, which lost here to Fulham at the weekend. And it looks very much like a change of formation to a 3-4-3. Joe Linton has dropped out completely. He's got a knee injury. Livramento moves to the bench. So in come Kieran Trippier and Sven Botman. And by the way, Callum Wilson, who has been out since early December, is on the bench for Newcastle this evening. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta sticks with exactly the same 11 which beat Manchester City on Sunday at the Emirates, so they're looking to ride the wave of that result all the way to Wembley. Arsenal lost here at St James's Park back in November. 9 of this starting 11 started that game as well. So the big guns are all out there. It's a big atmosphere and a huge challenge for Arsenal to overturn a 2-goal deficit. And there is in Isak up front for Newcastle. I mean, it's a club, when you think about Newcastle, Adrian, you know, they're built on number 9s, going way back to Jackie Milburn and then Malcolm McDonald and Alan Shearer, of course. And he is just been sensational this season, Isak.
He is, and he's filling those boots, and you can just see the confidence there. He's talking in the team talk. He feels very much a leader in that team. He's leading the line, and he's doing it so well. He just seems to keep getting better and better. And it's showing in his performance, it's showing in how many goals he scored, and he's a real threat. And, you know, a game like tonight, the Arsenal back four will definitely be weary of him.
Oh, Mikel Arteta has been in charge just over 5 years now, and don't get me wrong, he's done a brilliant job transforming Arsenal from relative also-rans into title contenders. However, he has only won 1 trophy in that 5 years. Newcastle would take 1 trophy in 5 years, that's for sure. Look at that, the passion. Well, if you get bored of occasions like this, then you're bored of football, because this is right up there with the best that the sport has to offer. And the referee, Simon Hooper, blows his whistle. It's Arsenal who get the game underway in red and white, of course, kicking from left to right as we look at it, and they get an early free kick as well. Just a little pull by Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, he's had a little tug there, probably unnecessary so early on in the game. Won't want to concede, you know, a set piece, you know, 30 seconds into the game. Just allows Arsenal to build a bit of pressure, build a bit of momentum, you know, territory high up on the pitch.
Arguably the best side in the country at attacking set pieces. Declan Rice is going to take this. It's the usual Arsenal routine. In it goes, and it's headed clear, and Arsenal will settle for a corner kick. Isak maybe feeling he was being held. But it's a good start by Arsenal. Free kick, then a corner. Pressure on Newcastle.
Yeah, definitely a good start, Arsenal. This is what they would have wanted. Consecutive set pieces, especially where they're so strong from these corners. Gabriel definitely be licking his lips here.
Well, an early goal is what Arsenal are looking for in this second leg. Declan Rice plays the corner kick short. Martinelli with a little jab into the penalty area. Bruno Guimaraes made the block, and Murphy strides forward here for Newcastle. A good run too, and Martinelli has fouled him. I'd be surprised if the card comes out for Martinelli, but Simon Hooper's just going to lay down a boundary here, I think.
Yeah, just a little talking to. I can't imagine he wants to get his cards out yet. It's, you know, early in the game. It's a semi-final, so I imagine the emotion's going to be running high anyway. But it's just great play from Jacob Murphy, just getting the team up the pitch straight away from that little bit of pressure. Just relieves it for the team. Now they've got a set piece in the final third as well now.
Such an improved player, Murphy. Hall and Gordon over this set piece. Gordon's going to leave it for the left back. A seven-man red and white defensive wall. Tonali with the ball into the area. Only flicked away by Rice to Trippier. Here's Kieran Trippier again. That's a bit too deep. In fact, it's a lot too deep. And there's a foul anyway against Isak inside the penalty area.
Both teams so far just working training ground routines on their set pieces. No one keen to just put the ball in the box at the moment. Just trying to catch each other off guard. It's
such an old cliche in football that the first goal is all important, but when the tie is at 2-0, the first goal in the second leg really is all important, and this could be it. Isak, 1-0 Newcastle. Well, you knew he'd finish it. The bar is set pretty high in the quality of strikers in the Premier League, but Isak is right up there, and he was never going to miss that. Newcastle lead by a 1-0 on the night, and by 3-0 on aggregate.
It just had to be that man, didn't it? David Raya with a long ball up top. Burn does really well to win that first ball, but Isak just there, playing on the shoulder of the defence, just giving him space in behind. It looked like a close call, but it looks like he timed his run to perfection. And the finish, that's a man that is in complete confidence. Just side puts it straight into the top corner. An accomplished finish. And he just stands there taking all the plaudits, and rightly so. We mentioned number 9s early on.
Yeah,
he really is filling those shoes.
Oh, look at the reaction from Eddie Howe. Well, the VAR will be doing its work and checking away. The question is, I think that really intelligent little step towards the halfway line from Isak just might have got in the right side of Saliba.
It looks like a close one. We never know with this, because sometimes it could just be a little shoulder that's just keeping you on or offside. But he looks, like you just mentioned there, he just got himself, it looked like he got himself back on side and just curved his run. If you're going to give him that space in behind, you know he's going to try and exploit it.
Well, high drama. John Brooks is the video assistant referee, and this is obviously a very close call, because it's taking a while. Could just be the shoulder of Isak. He got his feet back behind Saliba, but his shoulder might have been leaning into an offside position, and it's not going to count.
After review, the goal scorer, Newcastle number 14, is in an offside position. The restart is indirect free kick for offside.
Well, there we go. That's one of the new initiatives at this stage of the Carabao Cup, being able to hear the referee's decision. Offside. Chalked out. That was tight.
Well, that is one thing with VAR. There's no grey areas. It could be, you know, the slightest bit, but offside's offside. And
yeah.
But the finish, got to applaud it.
Oh.
Saw the space in behind, and he'll be looking to exploit that if Arsenal are going to give him that space, you know, for this game.
So maybe a stroke of good fortune for Arsenal. I mean, we believe the lines. He was offside, but it was very, very close. And 3-0 would feel a good deal different from 2. Well, it was, for a moment, looking like his 20th goal of the season. Lewis Skelly is getting a talking to from Simon Hooper.
We're only 7 minutes in, and it feels like so much has happened already in this game. And
Odegaard's going to take this free kick for the visitors. Taking it short, actually, to Declan Rice. Slight change of script. Trossard trying to squeeze it back into Rice. And a corner has been prevented by Trippier. I think that's gone straight out of play. Kai Havertz, the intended target for that. Such a good defender, Botman. I think it's been, he's obviously had an injury-hit season, and it makes a huge difference, I think, to have him back in.
Yeah, certainly. And Newcastle, you know, they're blessed with some really good defenders. I like, you know, all 3 of their centre-halves that are playing today, but Botman just complements that back line so well. You can tell he's one of the leaders back there. He dictates the line. You know, he really is one of the big players for Newcastle.
Dubravka then in goal, keeping Pope out of the side. Still, Pope is fit again, by the way, but on the bench. Thomas Partey with a header. And a collision between Gordon and Partey. Partey is saying there's nothing in it. Simon Hooper doesn't agree. Yeah, Simon Hooper's going to be a bit busy tonight, I think.
He is. I was just about to say, he's having a word again. He just wants to try and get control of the game again. You know, Partey just leans in with his shoulder to Gordon. Looks like he just catches him in the back, and Gordon, clever, just goes down, buys the free kick.
In a very similar position to the one that he took 4 or 5 minutes ago. Taken by Lewis Hall, dropping and cleared by Odegaard on the edge of the penalty area. His Trippier. Well, it's a hugely enjoyable first 10 minutes.
It is. There's been plenty of action. Somewhat been a game of set pieces as well, but you can see the intent from both sides here. No one's sitting back. You know, they both want to come out here, stamp their authority on the game. Great from a neutral perspective.
In this long unbeaten run of Arsenal's, Newcastle are the only side to have beaten them. That's a 22-game run in which they've only lost once in normal circumstances. They lost a FA Cup shootout to Manchester United, of course, but that aside, it's Newcastle and only Newcastle who've got the better of Mikel Arteta's side of late. That's a free kick. There was a little touch, I think.
Yeah, there was enough contact to win the free kick there, but Gabriel looked like he had a big touch there, so thankful that he did get a little clip there. But this game really has started electric.
Arsenal's free kick taken by Gabriel. Nodded infield by Havertz. Tonali with the clearance. Saliba with a bit of a slice. David Raya's starting position was good, but he sliced it as well. And Anthony Gordon is scrapping for it here, and he's fouled Timber. That'll be a free kick to Arsenal. Another set piece. It's frantic. Rice being put under pressure. And Newcastle's reward is a throw-in. I think that was Fabian Schär who was way up the field putting pressure on Rice.
Well, there were questions asked of how Newcastle might approach this game. Would they sit back and try and just defend their 2-goal lead, or would they come out here and, you know, suggested that the crowd wouldn't let them sit back, and they definitely haven't started that way.
It's miscontrol by Trossard. Kai Havertz here for Arsenal. Lewis Skelly. Odegaard put under pressure by Bruno Guimaraes. Timber. And Gabriel. Partey was knocked over. Arsenal have the ball anyway. Simon Hooper says play on. That's a clever little ball from Odegaard into Kai Havertz, off to Timber. Trossard popping up right-hand side. Martinelli's inside the penalty area. Dan Burns' clearance deflecting to Tonali. It's come back to Arsenal's Leandro Trossard. Partey, who scored a deflected effort from outside the box against City at the weekend. Lewis Skelly, and touch back to goalkeeper Dubravka. What did you make of his celebration against Manchester City on Sunday? You know, the background to it is Erling Haaland in the first meeting had said, "Who are you?" And he did the old Zen goal-scoring celebration, having scored against them at the weekend.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. Obviously, he remembered what Haaland, I think, said to him earlier on in the season. And there, you know, you want that little bit of competitive spirit. You know, no harm done, I think, by it, and need that little bit of banter in the game, I think, as well.
Well, at 18 years old, it certainly shows he has character and confidence. Some goal, though. Gabriel's forward ball, a little bit of strain. Dan Burn has fed it into Bruno Guimaraes, and here's Anthony Gordon. Gordon, who's been full of bright ideas this season for Newcastle, just lost out to Odegaard. Timber's forward ball, that's good play from Lewis Hall to slide it into the path of Botman. Nicely done, Bruno Guimaraes. Hall at the back post. Impossible angle, really.
Game just starting to settle down a little bit more now. Arsenal with a few good bits of play.
Burn with a turn which nearly went wrong. And Dubravka being put under pressure. David Raya's saves against Manchester City almost forgotten in the excitement of the goals, but they played a big part in that win for Arsenal at the weekend. Made a brilliant save from close range header from a corner to deny Joško Gvardiol.
Yeah, the reactions were just, you know, they were world class. That was a top save, and just shows he's been an integral part of what Arsenal have tried to do recently with the success they've had. You know, their runs in the league, and, you know, saves like that. Like you said, they sometimes go unnoticed with all the other headline stories, especially the young gunners getting all the headlines, but, you know, a massive part of the team, David Raya.
It was greeted with some shock when he replaced Aaron Ramsdale in the side at Goodison Park, I remember it was. But it's a decision which Mikel Arteta made and has been fully justified. That's deflected through to the Spanish keeper.
Yeah, I definitely think more attention was drawn to the situation when, you know, Arteta mentioned having two #1 keepers and then battling it out, because, you know, I think keepers need to feel #1. They need to know that they're playing every week unless they're injured or a serious loss of form. So, but yeah, like I said, he's been such a massive part of Mikel Arteta's team.
It's deflected into Trossard, who's trying to find space where there really isn't any. Bruno Guimaraes forcing him to retreat slightly. Here's Timber. That's a good ball though for Ødegaard, and the layoff back to Martin Ødegaard. Classic Arsenal inside the area. Great block by Botman.
Terrific block there. You can just see every Newcastle player had to get back behind the ball there. Great patient build-up from Arsenal. A little slip from Guimaraes there as well, which Ødegaard nearly took advantage of.
Lovely flick into Martinelli. Goodness me. Well, Ødegaard inside the area. It was a lovely little ball into Martinelli, who was absolutely flattened right on the edge of the penalty area.
Great play again from Arsenal, but a little bit fortunate how it comes about. But falling there to Ødegaard, even on his weaker side, you expect him to at least make the keeper work.
Just brushed the post, didn't it? That's a foul, but advantage was played, and Ødegaard should have taken it, really.
Yeah, a player of his quality, definitely expecting, at worst, to make the keeper make a save, but...
Oh, Gordon into Isak. Oh, and he's hit the post as well, and Murphy scores from the follow-up. And this one surely will stand. What a brilliant finish by Murphy. That is not easy. Isak smashed the woodwork, and Murphy kept his head and stroked it into the back of the Arsenal net. And having had one disallowed very early on for offside, and having seen Martin Ødegaard hit the post with a big chance seconds ago, Jacob Murphy scores.
And you just see there, like you said, Ødegaard hitting the wrong side of the post. Isak looking to get in behind. It's one ball straight down the middle. Arsenal don't deal with it. Isak gets on his bike in behind. He's so quick. Only one thing in his mind. Great connection this time. Falls kindly back off the post for Newcastle. Back into Murphy's path. Like I said, it's bouncing. It's not an easy finish. But all he has to do is direct it towards goal. And he keeps his composure, hits the target. Newcastle extend their lead, but Arsenal will be ruining that chance at the other end.
Absolute delight. Bedlam around St James's Park. They are 3-0 up on aggregate. That is a really good finish. Isak actually won the first header, didn't he? Then took the return. You saw with the camera angle from behind the goal, the bend he got in the shot, cannoning off the woodwork. Murphy still had some work to do. Arsenal are in big trouble here now.
Yeah, they need to get their composure back.
Martinelli's ball in. Whoa, important touch. Declan Rice was steaming in. Botman got a little glance on it. Here's Lewis Skelly, Thomas Partey, Martin Ødegaard, and Gordon with the block. And now Newcastle look to break and exploit that pace of Isak again. Gordon is to Tonali's left. Here is Anthony Gordon. Little bump from Saliba was a good one.
Oh, terrific defending from Saliba there. The two centre-halves were 3v2. He made sure the play went outside him, showed his pace, showed his strength and composure there to win the ball back. The last thing Arsenal would have needed there was to concede another goal. The game really would have gotten away from them then.
Pace of the game is brilliant. Ødegaard's shot is wide and there's no deflection. Well, it is end-to-end, 100-mile-an-hour stuff. And Arsenal have to somehow reduce now a 3-goal deficit. That's the confirmation of the offside for the goal that didn't count.
And you can see just how close it is there. Stevie mentioned how well Isak does there on the first one. But his pace in behind. If you leave him any space in behind, he will look to exploit it. He's got the pace to get away from people, but just calm finish. Fortunate with how the ball comes back off the post. But then a great finish from Murphy as well.
Here's Gabriel Martinelli. Little nutmeg on Burn, but it's well covered by Hall. Straight to Ødegaard though. Kai Havertz can knock it square. It's a good save by Dubravka. Really big save to deny Trossard.
Terrific save because it comes through legs there as well. He had to get down very quickly. It was a poor clearance. Arsenal looked to capitalise and it just goes through. I think Shah's legs there. Smart save down to his right.
Yeah, head in the hands moment for Arsenal again. Really good stop. Ødegaard with the near post corner, and that's headed behind by Trippier for another.
Newcastle do have some real height in their area to head these balls away. Trippier with a good header away there. But you're just looking at them, Burn, Shah, Botman.
Lewis Skelly on his toes as Ødegaard delivers this corner kick right into the mix. And that will be another one. I think that one came off Botman, actually. Trippier trying to organise things.
Yeah, they do well to clear it, but the deliveries from Ødegaard are superb. They just make it so hard to clear when he's just whipping them in straight under the bar. All it needs is one person to nick it, and you're scoring a goal.
Someone trod on Dubravka's boot. Could have been anyone, in all honesty. Well, that is Nick Pope warming up, sub-keeper, as Ødegaard takes the corner kick right into the mix again, and I think Trippier hoiked it away. Anthony Gordon has bumped Lewis Skelly over for a free kick, which Arsenal have tried to take too quickly. There's an awful lot going on for the ref, isn't it?
There is, and he's trying his hardest to keep it calm and keep it contained in there. He doesn't want to be getting out his cards. just there, Gordon. If he doesn't give away the foul, it's a tough one for Lewis Kelly to deal with. You know, it's bouncing in front of him. Just giving Arsenal another opportunity to work something which they've practiced on the training ground.
Saliba, Declan Rice. Bent in from Ødegaard. Well, they could do with equalising on the night sooner rather than later. 3 goals is a big ask. Dubravka has a real issue here. Left boot is the problem. If you get trodden on the top, on the laces there, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, that'll be a sore one. He's gesturing. I think he wants someone to come on, or... But I don't know, maybe it's just one that he can just get through, kind of have a few big deep breaths, what he's doing now.
Yeah.
And kind of get through it, just trying to buy the team a little bit of time, take a little bit of pressure away.
Well, also just a little pause in momentum, Arsenal's momentum, and they have it at the moment, is not a bad idea. Nick Pope hasn't played a game for Newcastle since the first weekend in December. He's Ødegaard. Tonali's header. Forward by Saliba. Havertz making a nuisance of himself. Ødegaard forward, Havertz again. That should go back to the keeper, and it does. Well, Newcastle might not have won anything for a long time, but they have fairly recent history of reaching Wembley in this competition. Back in 2023, they lost to Manchester United in the final. It's slightly overhit by Gordon. And they had to play Loris Karius in the final, you may remember. Nick Pope was injured, and Dubravka had played 2 games for Manchester United in a loan spell, including in this competition, and was cup-tied for the final. It was Loris Karius' one and only game for Newcastle. They lost it 2-0, not pointing the finger at him, but they did.
That is a good quiz question for years to come, I think.
Yeah, Dubravka would have been desperately upset to miss the final. Could make amends. Martinelli blocked by Hall.
Newcastle just happy to sit in their low block at the moment and just wait on the counter. Arsenal trying to find a way through, but Newcastle defended it very, very well so far.
Timber, Martinelli. Deep cross, Trippier away. Lewis Skelly to collect. Saliba. Partey. And a mistake by Martinelli. Well, we're approaching the half-hour mark, and Newcastle will be delighted to be a goal up. But is there just a feeling that since they scored that goal, they've just retreated a little bit? We were saying at 0-0, they have to attack the game and, you know, forget about the 2-0 advantage. But now their noses are in front in the second leg as well. They're just inviting Arsenal onto them a little bit.
And I think that's always something that naturally happens anyway, but obviously their shape, they're playing, they've got 5 defenders on the pitch, they've got 5-4-1, they've got pace in Isak at the top and Gordon, so if they do have to sit into that low block, they know they've got the pace on the counter as well. I'm sure that's something that, you know, Eddie Howe would have had in mind anyway.
Ødegaard off the pitch at the moment. Gabriel for Partey. Ødegaard's back on, as you can see. Partey almost caught by Anthony Gordon. Bruno Guimaraes. Murphy and Trippier sprinting to his right-hand side. Gabriel would appear to have it covered. Well, he's got two to deal with, and Trippier with a bit of contact. Gabriel went down too easily for Trippier's liking, and then Gabriel gets up and shrugs him off, and Trippier wisely. He's been around the block long enough to know that his best place is to get away from this.
Yeah, just a nice bit of fire to the game. It's a big game, it's a cup game, so naturally tempers might flare like that, but once again, brilliant defending from Gabriel. Him and Saliba are going to have to do that at times. You know, they're going to need to defend that space behind them, especially with them pushing so high up.
Havertz with a misplaced pass. Hall trying to knock it between Saliba and Gabriel, but David Raya was there for Arsenal. Bit of a hoik from Havertz. Partey for Odegaard, well tidied up by Bruno Guimaraes, who just appeared out of nowhere. Well, the pass demanded that Gordon go forward. And Timbers won it and pirouetted nicely. Lewis Skelly had made a run from left back. Rice goes the other way instead. Odegaard, Martinelli into Dan Burn, Tonali to Gordon. A slip from Gabriel, and Isak is onto it, and then he can't find Murphy, who was just caught on his heels slightly, and here's Thomas Partey. Havertz will do well to keep that in, and he can't.
Yeah, brilliant defending once again from Newcastle in that low block. Arsenal just searching for a way through. At the moment, everything's coming out wide, which they're getting wide and crossing the ball. Newcastle dealing with it. Everything that's come down the middle. The only thing that has come through so far is something that was fortunate. You know, the tackle from Dan Burn that spilled to Odegaard. Newcastle very happy in that low block.
Joe Linton, the fan, tonight with the scarf around his neck. Problem with his knee, keeping him out of proceedings at the moment. Sandro Tonali. Partey though for Arsenal. Good header that. Isak. That's a clever ball into Gordon. Has to go and fetch it though. Sandro Tonali. Bruno Guimaraes, and they get a throw-in out of it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit early for the showboating, but you can see the confidence Newcastle playing with. But Isak again, anything that is played direct up to him, even if he's not winning it, he's just not allowing the Arsenal centre-halves to win it. He's just being a real nuisance up there, which is allowing Newcastle to get up the pitch. They're just really frustrating Arsenal at the moment.
And we're approaching the last 10 minutes of what's been a really, really good first half. Lewis Hall to take this free kick. Sven Botman has joined Dan Burn on the edge of the penalty area. No one taller than Burn in there. Hall's delivery. Little nod down, dangerous. Fabian Schär was waving his left boot at it. He thinks it should have been a corner. He's not going to get it though. Lewis Skelly with a really good turn away from Murphy. Havertz running ahead of him. Martinelli is inside the penalty area now, but not there. And that's a Newcastle throw-in, much to the delight of the home fans.
Yeah, it was a poor ball in there. One of the few times that Arsenal's been able just to get in behind that Newcastle defence. But the ball in's got to come in with a bit more quality there.
Well, they're going to be forced into an early change here, Arsenal, which is less than ideal.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Martinelli looks like he's holding his hamstring there, and
yeah,
he doesn't look happy.
Nwaneri's getting himself ready, but Gabriel Martinelli looks very much like his game is up here.
Yeah, when you go down with your hamstring, it's not one you can usually run off.
So there we are. Martinelli has lasted 36 minutes of this game. And Ethan Nwaneri, who scored a fabulous goal on Sunday against Manchester City with the last kick of the game, comes on. He's developing a knack. He's scored 7 times this season already.
He has become a real impact player for Arsenal, and you know, he offers something totally different to Martinelli, and maybe that's what Arsenal need right now, just something different to try and unlock that Newcastle defence. You know, he's on that right side, he'll be cutting back in, trying to whip those balls, whip those shots on his left foot. Going round the outside at the moment hasn't really worked. You know, those 3 big centre-halves so far, just heading everything away, so...
Saka's still out with a hamstring injury, of course, and Sterling sitting on the bench still. Here's Havertz. Well shielded by Botman.
That's it, there are just so many bodies in that central area for Newcastle.
Timber's header. It looked for a moment as though he was going to overdo that, but keeps it safe.
Yeah, nice and calm from Arsenal just to get out of pressure there, and this is what they need to do, just to settle back down. But once again, you can just see Newcastle, just everyone behind the ball. You know, they would have prepped for this. They would have prepped for if they do go a goal up. Happy to sit in that low block and counter.
Rice and Saliba. Ethan Nwaneri. Little deflection off Hall. Tonali to head clear to Anthony Gordon. Swept up by Saliba, and Timber, his control just letting him down.
Yeah, just gets stuck under his feet, but kills the momentum. A little respite for that Newcastle low block, those Newcastle defenders. They're just taking their time now, just trying to take the sting out of it as it's leading into half-time.
Newcastle hoping to reach the League Cup final for only the 3rd time in their history. It's a trophy they've never won. Nwaneri took it away from Hall, but it's a bit deep.
Yeah, Lewis Hall just makes sure he stands up there, but Gordon, this is terrific play from him, just doubling up. They'll be aware that Nwaneri wants to come in on his left foot. He's so dangerous when he comes inside. You know, when he's crossing the ball, he's got assists. But that left foot, you know, he likes to get his shots away. We already mentioned the impact he's already made, but, you know, Gordon, aware of his defensive duties there.
Kieran Trippier's not been short of a word or two during the course of this evening.
Yeah, he's pumped up, as he should be.
Into the last 5 minutes of the first half, it's going Newcastle's way at the moment. It feels like a really big deficit, and if it was anyone other than a side of the quality of Arsenal, you might say this semi-final is done, but as we know, Arsenal are capable of unleashing a goal-scoring flurry. They'd love one before half-time, though. It would give them a real platform.
They are, but they need to come up with something here just to try and unlock this Newcastle defence. It stood resolute so far.
Ranieri, Timber, Ødegaard. Trossard thought there was a little gap between Murphy and Trippier. Didn't quite work for him. It's a foul by a slightly frustrated maybe Kai Havertz.
Just that frustration, and it's a silly foul as well. To give away a foul and a booking when the other team are on their goal line. It's silly from him, just needs to keep his emotions intact. The team's going to need him.
Well, Bruno is going to be okay.
Smart play from him. He read Havertz's body language coming to him, bought the free kick. You know, it's great composure in the first place. But he just buys a free kick, gets his body across. Silly one to give away from Havertz.
Strong header by Lewis Skelly, but it's a Newcastle throw-in. 2 minutes plus added time. If they can get through to half-time with a 3-goal aggregate lead. Well, he won't, but some of the Newcastle fans might just start their travel planning for northwest London. Gordon looked like he was being pulled back, and Saliba is the culprit, and Saliba becomes the second Arsenal player to get a yellow card in the space of a minute or so.
And I mentioned before, those centre-halves having to defend that space behind them. When you're going for the game, those two are some of the best at defending that space behind, but Gordon, Isak, Murphy, real pace there. He had to just get hold of Gordon because it was the wrong side of him, looked like he was going to get away. Will be tough for him to play the rest of this game on a yellow card as well, especially when you're trying to go for the game, playing that high line.
It's Hall with the free kick. Trossard. Tonali. Oh, good challenge, Burn on Havertz. Kept in play on the far side by Trippier, which was a bonus. Here's Bruno Guimaraes, Isak. Timber scampering on, finding Ethan Nwaneri. Havertz is in the middle. Nwaneri almost found him. Botman did really well. Minimum of 5 added minutes at the end of the half, which is greeted with a little bit of a groan by the home fans. Much of that 5 for the VAR decision, which ruled out the early strike from Isak. Partey for Ødegaard. Rice couldn't squeeze it through. Bruno Guimaraes has it for Newcastle. He finds Isak. Gordon. Oh, Gordon's done well. And looks for goal. Always looked to be heading wide, but he's a player full of confidence as well.
Terrific bit of play. Just goes past Declan Rice, comes inside on that right foot. Only one thing in his mind, looking for that far corner, just doesn't quite get enough bend on it. But the way he gets away from Declan Rice there, like he said, is a man full of confidence.
He's added more goals to his game this season, has Anthony Gordon. Botman was put under pressure, fair pressure. Lewis Skelly trying to thread it through. Trippier very alive to that. Sandro Tonali. Gordon might have just timed this run. Isak is arriving in the middle. Gordon, well blocked by Saliba.
Terrific play again. Just notices the space in behind. It's a great ball in as well. Just faces Saliba at 1v1. Terrific defender from him. Just keeps Gordon going wide onto his left foot. Doesn't let him come back inside. Closes the angle. But Newcastle will take that.
He's probably just inside his own half when that ball was played. Therefore onside.
The way this game's panned out, it just really suited that Newcastle front three. They've got pace to burn and so much space in behind. Really testing Saliba and Gabriel.
Trippier's corner, Havertz got something on it, then so did Sven Botman. That's clattered away, Trippier underneath. Dubravka, who seems now to be fully recovered. Into the last minute of added time at the end of the half. Good block, Trippier.
They've answered all the questions defensively so far, Newcastle. Arsenal just need to try and move that ball a bit quicker, try and shift them out of their block.
Two balls on the pitch at the moment. Simon Hooper has to stop play.
All those little things are just getting Arsenal out of their rhythm. You know, Wanyeri's looked really bright since he's come on. Every time they've got the ball to him, he's been very direct, trying to get at his man.
Here is Ødegaard. Partey. Ødegaard. And Eddie with those really quick feet. Dan Burn with a lunging kind of challenge.
Yeah, had to be a well-timed challenge there. Had to come out with the ball, ran the risk of giving away a pen, but timed it to perfection.
Hall pokes the ball out of play and then appeals vehemently for a throw-in that he knows will go Arsenal's way. Timber will take. Tonali and Partey arriving at the same time. Lewis Skelly using his body really well, and he's got the better of Kieran Trippier there, and then he's fouled. by Bruno Guimaraes. And Simon Hooper says that'll do for the first half, and what a great first half it was as well. The only goal scored by Murphy in the 19th minute.